Since it already seems there are a fair amount of people in chat just waiting. Since it already seems there are... Oops. Just... turns out I should mute my own stream. What's up, guys? How are all of you beautiful people doing? In recent Top Clack tradition, we're going live early. Hang out with you guys for a little bit before the show. Fresh-faced, bushy-tailed. Whoa.
Wait, who's looking fresh-faced? It can't be me at this time.
It's certainly not either of us. So.
Stocks, I think you're on the wind-up, Stocks.
Hope you guys are all ready for today's episode. It shall be a good one. Apparently we look cute together. Fantastic.
Nothing wrong with looking cute.
That's right.
You can wear the dresses, though.
Well, you know, I'll try anything once. Twice if I like it. You're early? Yeah, just a little bit early. Show hasn't officially started yet. We're just here to hang out.
Yeah, just being cool. Oh, someone wants me to be the sugar daddy.
Good. I've always wanted a sugar daddy. Dresses look comfortable? Probably, yeah. I hate wearing jeans. Jeans drive me nuts.
Oh, thanks, Bug Whisper. Hey, man. Good to see you. Oh, we've got Fledin as well. So, Fledin's got work at 5 o'clock in the morning as well. He was telling me, you need to go to bed, dude. Watch on VOD. Watch on VOD.
Oh my gosh. Good. People are excited that you're here. That's good. That's good.
It's nice. It's nice. We've got Wiz as well. Imagine using ISO in 2019. I knew someone would mention ISO before the stream actually started properly.
Did the Elsa tubs arrive? They did, but they're so small. I haven't actually tried to use one yet. Look how tiny they are. I mean, I could definitely lube springs in them. Probably stems too, I guess, but they're so wee.
We've just got Bledin with the Twitch Prime subscription as well. Thank you, Bledin. Appreciate that, man.
As well as Titan, tier 1 for 3 months in a row. Thank you, sir.
Wow, 3 months. Nice, nice. We've got the Pokemon Kid. Hello, Mr. MK UK.
IZ fan asking how my back is. It's okay-ish. I got an ice pack on it right now. So it's not too bad. I'm good enough to do the show. 159, it gifts a tier 1 sub to the Pokemon Kid. Whoa, the Pokemon Kid?
The Pokemon Kid, yeah.
Very nice. Thank you.
I've got to say, it's nice to see everyone staying up from the EU crowd to see me. It's really nice. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
It's nice that it didn't really dawn on me until now, but isn't that really bad? Aren't we just, like, wrecking people's schedules?
Yeah, possibly.
This is scary.
They're all adults. They can make their own decisions.
The EU crowd is, in its entirety, just going to turn on Top Clack because it's ruined their sleep. Holy Pandas aren't great. Just subbed with for 6 months in a row. Twitch Prime, thank you very much. And Nebulant with 400. What kind of bits are those? Oh, birthday bits.
Birthday bits, nice.
Is it your birthday? It's not my birthday.
Nope, not mine.
Alright, so we still have a few more minutes before we'll actually officially go live, guys. Let's just keep that in mind. That's why we're just chilling right now. Making sure everything's working okay, which it seems like it is so far. It's undone. Subs 3 months in a row, tier 1 sub. Thank you very much, sir.
Nice, nice. It's my first birthday. I look old if it's my first birthday.
If that's what you looked like when you were born, I'm really impressed.
With full beard, yeah.
Yeah. You just come out of the womb and you got like a cigar in one hand and a glass of scotch in the other. Full
Sounds
beard.
like a regular Saturday night.
Well, yeah. No Discord bot yet. That's another reason why I try to go early. Usually it takes about 5 minutes, but sometimes it's upwards of 10.
Oh, you missed the trick there, Bloodin. It could have been Ben J Min button. Oh,
Wow.
You could have played that better.
Missed opportunities.
Absolutely.
Nebulate at the airport. Oh yeah, he's heading out to the Seattle meetup. Very cool. So, watching the show at an airport. Oof.
Yeah. What boards are you taking, Nebulan? I think you said you were taking your number one, which I'm jealous to see at some point.
Of course he'd take his number one board.
Yeah.
Dad joke, sorry. And I'm not even a dad. You bored in half an hour. Right on. What a beautiful sight. Yeah, I mean, seeing two strapping young gentlemen such as Jay and myself, I mean, I would probably be a little swooning as well.
Debonair and
thank you.
That's
the word I was looking for. People in the U.S. don't use that word, so I don't hear it very often.
Fair. Debonair patter and dulcet tones. That's the nice way to describe you.
Swooning doesn't even cover it, says Stocks. Come on, bot. What are you doing?
Is it not pinged
Get
yet?
it together. No.
We need a better bot.
Yeah, I guess. Link? We haven't even started the news section yet. Don't yell at me for links.
It's no links. No links yet.
We have two co-hosts again. There shouldn't be a shortage on links anymore.
Don't say that yet. Let's get through it first.
Yeah. We'll see how you do. It's links are for some reason the hardest part of the show. I have no idea why.
159 giving another tier 1 sub as well.
Fantastico.
How's the wife taking you staying up at 2 a.m. to talk keyboard? She's watching TV downstairs. She's still awake, so yeah.
Blue says, I need to step up my game. Where are all my keyboards in the background? They're in my closet, which is kind of off screen behind me. Yeah, I don't have any kind of cool display stuff going on at the moment.
Yeah, I need to sort some more storage out for my boards. The rest of them are just in boxes at the minute in the storage unit, rather than easy to get to.
My stupid webcam. I don't know why my webcam likes to just like turn on autofocus even after I turn it off all the time.
Okay. Yeah, I set mine manually and just leave it at a set.
I do too, but as soon as I close the controller, it automatically sets it back to auto again. And I have to just reopen it and change it. So I have to leave it open during the show, which is like the oddest thing to me.
Jay's on ANSI time now. That's one way of looking at it. Interestingly enough, the first 2 build streams I've got are both going to be ANSI boards as well. So,
wow, starting top Clack in style.
Well, it's the fact that bug boards don't support anything else other than ANSI. That's why. That's
a pretty good reason.
Yeah. One of them might support an ISO once I get into delving into it, and if Wilbur helps out like he promised he would.
Oh, all right. The bot actually pinged the Discord. And that and being 6:02, I'm actually going to roll the intro and we're going to get this episode started. Alright guys, welcome to this week's episode of Top Clack. I am your host Quakeums, joined by Jay, new Top Clack co-host. So
hey guys.
If you guys have been living under a rock, which I know some of you might have been, Top Clack has been working on bringing Jay on board for the last month or two. And we finally roped him in. Finally somehow just sucker punched him and got him on. So good times are to be had. This is his first episode, and we'll be, reigning in the new year in style and with a little bit more facial hair.
Panache,
So,
that's the word.
Yes. Debonair.
Debonair,
Right.
panache. Yeah, all those words.
Yeah, so just for some people that might not be aware of who you are, just give us a little brief background on who you are and what you do in the community, just so we can kind of get everyone on the same page.
Yeah, sure. So I've been in the community for about, I don't know, 2 years maybe now. Started just with what I'd consider non-custom boards at the start, an Anpro, and then moving on through an old Razer board before I started to find the actual community at large. Over the past couple of years, I've probably become more famous for doing the Hyper 7 and then my own build streams over the last 6 months. But yeah, I like to just get stuck in wherever I can, run meetups, go to meetups, see new boards, see different things. Yeah, whatever I can. If anyone's got any specific questions, feel free to ask away. We can look at them at the end, and I'll open to any questions you've got.
Heck yeah. So keep in mind that Jay is not the guest today. He is a co-host, just like me.
Yeah.
So, he'll be here starting now until forever, basically. So yeah, we will be doing a Q&A section at the end of the stream, like we always do. So, like Jay said, if you do have questions for him, for me, whatever, about keyboards, about whatever, save those for the end, and we will get to them in a timely manner. We do have a nice news doc for you guys today. I'll be going over some pretty cool news that's been happening this week. But in traditional format, we'll start with a mail call, which will be really, really simple for me, because all I got this week is a bunch of bad back and sickness. But I hear you got some much more exciting things.
Yeah, so it's been a while since I did one of my streams, so I've got a bit of an extended mail call, which is basically anything that's turned up since I last did one of my own streams. So we'll start on the switches. The first thing I got was Zelios V2. So these are incredibly tactile switches. Zeal wasn't lying when he said they're more tactile than Holy Pandas. I absolutely agree with him on that. They're going to be going in one of the boards we'll look at in a minute that came this week. The other thing that I got as well just before Christmas was the Arctos switches. So I got both the 65 and the 67 gram. And Brian, you've got a whole range of these coming to you. I think you've got 70 of each of them on the way to you as well. And then the third lot of switches that I've got this week are the Heisenberg Utamu Ice blue switches there, silent stems. Gazu sent me these through the post just this last week. They've arrived. Still a little bit scratchy, but we'll talk about more of them when I do a build stream with them in the next couple of weeks as well.
Heisenberg.
Heisenberg switches, yeah.
What's the naming scheme on that? What's the point of that name?
It comes from Breaking Bad, so in
oh, okay.
I can't remember the guy's name, but the character's called Heisenberg. Walter White, his alter ego is Heisenberg, and they look like the drug that he creates, the version of meth that he creates in the show.
Fair enough. I've not watched the show.
Yeah, there you go. Moving on to boards. As I say, this is a bumper week. It won't be like this every week for the mail call. The first thing that I've got is the 60XT. So this is a prototype that Pingu has made from the EU. It is an ANSI board, but it does support ISO as well. But it's got two macro columns on the side, and it's just normal 60% as well. So this is the prototype that he's had made. As you can see, nice looking little board there. So we'll be building that on stream in a couple of weeks, trying that out and seeing how that goes. Also got a nice pink board here as well. This is a KBD 661, which I'm actually going to build as an Alps board. So this is going to be an Alps AEK ISO board. So I'll show you guys this as well. So it's pink and cyan. So Wei was kind enough to send me that to build. Which will be interesting. So we're going to build that with some salmon Alps, which will be my first Alps build stream, actually. I've never streamed an Alps build before. The next thing I've got as well, as I told you, is bumper week.
Yeah, your week is like more exciting than my 2018 has been. So
the next thing, this is the Noxery T60 in a nice blue-grey colour. It does come with, I haven't built this yet, this actually came with two plates, so you can see it's got a plate inside there. It's got just four mounting points, even though it's tray mount, so it's got quite a lot of flex in the middle of it. But interestingly, he sent it with an already built PCB, which has got a 5mm thick polycarbonate plate as well, so I'm looking forward to testing it out and trying that. Now, I'm not usually one for flexible boards, so it's going to be interesting to see how that goes, because that even with the 5mm, that really easily flexes. So we'll see how that pans out and plays out. Next, we've got the first board that I'm going to build on top Clack, which will be next week. Which is Zondat's telling me to shill it. Chill, lad, chill. Okay. This is the Vern. So you guys can't see it very well, but the PCB that Wilbur's done for this is absolutely stunning. It's an absolutely beautiful PCB. And again, this is an ANSI-only board from an EU member, of all things. So this is the grey Vern, no weight on the back. Excuse the fingerprints. But yeah, we'll be building that on stream as well. And then finally...
and then finally from an EU member. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, I'm slightly disappointed in him for that. That is one thing I'm slightly disappointed in. The final build will be the Zephyr, which I will show you just 1 second. So this is the Zephyr that I kindly picked up off of Frostbite, the nice red and brass 5mm member. So we're building that on stream in a couple of weeks as well. Again, excuse fingerprints. Oh, you can see reflection of all the screens there.
Yeah, it's pretty darn mirror finished.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. The finish on this board is second to none, I've got to be honest. From all the boards I've got, the anodization on the Zephyr is probably the nicest.
Sheesh, man.
Okay, so there we go. That's it. That's mail call.
Just a couple casual things. Just, no big deal. Just like a few random small mail items.
Just a normal week, you know how it is.
All right. So Rumai subbed with Twitch Prime. Thank you for that. My man Mart subbed with Tier 1 sub for 11 months in a row. Says welcome, Jay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Heck yeah. And then Handrew going on what is almost becoming normal for him. A 10 Tier 1 gifting bonanza, I think is the word I'm going to use this week. And he donates 10 Tier 1 subs. So thank you so much for that, man. That is crazy to see, man. Like, it just like fills up the Twitch chat. It looks really epic.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate that, dude.
You are a scholar and a gentleman, my friend. All right. So your Red Zephyr is that the only one in the EU, or is that now the second one in the EU?
Second Zephyr in the UK. I think there's a few more across the EU, but it's only the second Zephyr in the UK. Yeah. And as far as I know, it's the only red Zephyr in the EU. Which is what Zil was saying earlier on. So yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, yeah, okay. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, if anyone's got any ideas on what key set goes with the red keyboard, let me know, because I need to find one for it.
LBI Bass asking how does Twitch subscribing give you guys money? So every sub gives us $2.50. So that's how that works. Pretty simple. So yes, thank you guys very much for that. Appreciate it. So let's just kind of roll into our news doc. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
And also, Thick Milk, great username by the way. Just sub with a Tier 1 sub. Thank you so much.
Thick Milk.
Thick Milk. I feel like some people are way more clever with their usernames than I am.
Yeah. I just use my name, Jay.
Oh boy. All right. Let's make sure I got this news viewer transition working properly with Jay. It looks like I do. Cool. So let's go into the news, guys. What a lot of you are here for. And to start us off first, we have a pretty big announcement actually. We got the very unfortunately named, in my opinion, Keycult number 160 and number 165. Truly a missed opportunity, I feel like, for a different name, but you know, so be it. The board itself looks pretty interesting. So there are a few different versions of this, and they're all launching on different dates, as you can see on your screen here. And I thought that was relatively interesting. So we have the 60% version launching tomorrow, January 4th. We have the 65% version launching Wednesday, January 9th. And then you'll have a version of the 60% with brass options on the 13th, and a version of the 65 as well on with brass options on the 13th. So when they say brass edition, I'm almost positive they don't mean a fully brass keyboard. I think it's just brass plate weight, that sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah. If you click the link, it shows you the image, Brian, on that one. It is just brass accents.
Yeah. So why don't you take us through some of the specs of this, Jay?
Yeah, so having a look at it, it's a 9-degree angle, which is it's probably on the steep side for me. I put it a little bit shallower than that, but it's not too extreme. It's not like the duck boards. The PCB is Wilbur designed as well, so it's straight from Wilbur Studios, and it will be VIA compatible as well. So yes, it looks really good. I'm really up for trying to get one of the 65% editions of this one. I think that's more my style. But it is plate mount and gasket. Plate mount is on gaskets. So I'm not sure how the gasket works on this. I haven't seen any pictures of how the gasket actually sits within the build. But I suspect it's a compression one, like the GSKT board is. I don't think there's any image showing it directly.
I don't think so. Well, we have I imagine it's the same as the #1 TKL, which I think. Someone in chat will obviously correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's kind of more of like the OTD style where they have the gasket kind of encompassing / between the plates and the PCB. But hopefully someone in chat will obviously correct me on that if I'm wrong.
Yeah, it does look really good though, either way. And I'm whilst I'm interested in the brass one, some of the colours look really nice on the aluminium one. So you can have light grey, dusty blue accent, which looks really, really good, and then dark blue as well. So I think the dusty blue out of the 3 colour options looks really nice for me.
Yeah, there's no doubt it absolutely looks gorgeous, and it's very, very feature rich. You got a nice gasket mount. You have a PCB designed by Wilbur, who's probably the most popular PCB designer in the community right now. He's been doing a lot of really good work. VIA compatible PCB, awesome. I've been absolutely loving VIA. Price point, what do we think about the price point? It seems it's
on the high side.
Maybe a little on the high side, yeah. I don't recall what the #1 TKL went for, but I feel like it was actually, wasn't it a little less than this?
I'm not sure, but if the quality's there, I don't think the price is too extortionate at all. And to say it's only $60 more, $70 more for the brass version, I think the prices are okay. They are a little towards the higher end of where the market is, but if the quality's there and it's a limited amount, I think that's fair enough. Now, one of the things that I did notice that's quite interesting on here, they actually have a quality disclosure link. If you jump into one of them, Brian, there's an orange link just underneath the pictures to the right hand side.
Got it.
The first line. So I did have a read through of this earlier on, and it seems like there may be some differences in terms of quality on the inside rather than on the outside of the cases, which is something I'm looking to fix in future rounds. But it is interesting that they're calling it out up front. But if the quality's there, I don't think the price is too bad.
Yeah, I know for people like me and a lot of other people might share the same opinion, but when you get a custom board, it's not that uncommon to have some kind of imperfections on the inside. You might have anodization inconsistencies, hook marks during the anodization process, something or other. There's often some kind of imperfection somewhere on the inside. That's pretty normal, and it usually doesn't bother me too much. I know some people tend to lose their minds over it, for lack of a better term. So, but it's good to have the disclaimer because it's a group buy. Yeah, for sure. So you got to give them credit where credit's due. Sometimes things don't always come out perfectly, even when you pay a lot of money for them. So,
Yeah, and if you're going to have an imperfection, I'd rather have it on the inside of the case than outside. So, I think that's fair. Yeah,
caveat emptor, or whatever. So
absolutely.
All right, Talisman Solutions, thank you for the 1,000 bits, and Walig, thank you very much for the 100 bits. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we've got Elliot 23 with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you, Elliot. Really appreciate it, man.
Heck yeah, thank you guys. All right, so very, very cool. It does look gorgeous, man. Like the actual design of this keyboard, the 60, the 65, and even the TKL, I think is really, really stellar. It's elegant, but like it still has a lot of that kind of like modern curve aesthetic that a lot of people enjoy. And,
for sure. The base is stunning. The whole U shape on the base and the split brass weight. I really like that. I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely stellar. So you're gonna be getting one of these 65s?
I'm gonna try for one of the brass 65s. I'll be honest. Yeah. I'll try for that.
Nice.
We'll see how that goes.
Awesome. Oh wait, did we get the link?
Yeah, the link was done earlier.
You're on top of it.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm on top of it. Don't worry. I've got you.
You got me sweating because I've had like I have nightmares about posting links now, guys. Like it's so bad. All right, moving on. We have the Space 65, which just launched a few days ago. This is by Air Potter, who is Gray Studio. This is it's an interest check that we've covered in the past. It's now moving into group buy phase. And this is a really ambitious design, but I like it. It's sorry, go on.
I was going to say, I think one of the things that stands out for me is it's the inspiration for this as well. The fact that he's designed it based on the Voyager missions and all of that kind of stuff. That's really cool. That is really, really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when we covered the interest check, people were like, "Is that a cell phone? Is that a smartphone? Like, is that an iPhone?"
It does have that look. It does have that candy bar look to it.
It's very interesting, yeah. But it's definitely very unique, if nothing else.
Absolutely, yeah. So just looking at the facts on this one, 5-degree slope, GMK compatible PCB, which is USB-C as well. LED strip is only on one side, which is the same side as where the USB is, and really interesting, it comes with a carbon fiber plate as standard, which I think this is the first board that does it as a standard plate, as the standard option. I know a few boards have run with carbon fiber options, but I think this is the first one that's done it as the main standard plate. That's
definitely pretty new. I actually think don't quote me on this, but I think the HB85 was also carbon fiber by default.
Oh, was it? Okay, interesting.
Yeah, that board kind of slid under the radar though, because like no one really paid attention to it because it was just so intense. But it's like actually one of my favorite boards of 2018.
If you ever get bored of that, I would love to have one. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm kind of sad I missed that out. Yeah,
it's truly a statement piece. I love it. But anyways, back to the Space 65, and this is one thing I like about a lot of the Eastern studios, like Gray Studios. They're really not afraid to go above and beyond and really push like really strange designs that I feel like a lot of Western designers might not really go for. So yeah, I mean this is pretty out there as far as a keyboard is concerned.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think the best thing about this board though is the price, because the price is just insanely low for what they're delivering. $225 plus shipping is really, really good. I think it's a great price for this board.
Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely good. Interesting thing about oh crap, I don't know where it went. Oh, no, okay, it does come with a PCB. My apologies. Okay.
Yes.
For a second, I thought it was base kit, and then you had to add a PCB for $40. But this makes a lot more sense now. Okay, I was confusing myself. So yeah, here's the price breakdown, guys. If you wanted that base kit, $225, and of course you can add anything you want for a relatively low price for pretty much anything else. But I do like that. I like the carbon fiber plate by default. I've kind of always been a big fan of carbon fiber. I tend to prefer non-metal plates, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is looking pretty darn good. So the group buy is open for only about 15 days. Started on the 30th last month, and it closes on the 14th of this month. So you got about 11 days to get in on this. Ships about 3 months later due to the holiday season, which even 3 months with the holiday in between there actually seems pretty generous to begin with. But, yeah, you know, I am getting fooled more and more lately, so I really should stop saying stuff like that. Either way, they have a lot of pictures here. A lot of pictures of the actual prototypes, and it really does look stellar, in my opinion. This is the kind of stuff I really enjoy seeing lately, because I feel like we've been getting a lot of rehashes of the same designs over and over again lately, and while it's nice to, you know, keep simplicity and classic and elegance, but you know, it's kind of nice to push into the future too and try to get something new out there.
Absolutely, yeah, and I think the layout support on this is really good as well. I like the fact that it offers the 7U spacebar option as well for the bottom row. That's really nice.
Heck yeah. I'm just by habit, I'm like making sure that we posted the link.
Yes.
Not that I don't trust you.
You
I'm
don't
just
need
like,
to worry.
I'm frightened about posting links on Twitch streams now. Just like absolutely.
Yeah,
frightened.
we've got the links. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. The links are there.
Sweating bullets over links. All right, guys. Next up, we have an interest check for SA Cube, which is a fantastic name. Clearly, judging by this first picture here, I'm going to say this is modeled after the Nintendo GameCube. So
yes, I wonder.
pretty good guess for me, I'd imagine. And we got some renders here. And it's not really doing it for me, which is a shame because I really, really enjoyed having the GameCube as a child. So, yeah, how do you feel about this as far as the colorway execution of the interest check?
I like the purple, but I think having the alphas darker than the mods doesn't quite work for me. Whilst I get it's trying to be true to the console colors, I think maybe I'd be potentially darken the mods a little bit more, just so it fits better with the purple. I think it's just too pale. There's too much contrast between the colors for me.
Yeah, fair enough. Someone was in chat was saying reverse the colorway.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I'd be interested to see what that would look like. Yeah. One thing that I do like is I like the controller pack, which adds the red, the green, and the yellow keys. I quite like that. I think that looks quite good. That does harken back to that old colorway off the controller, the standard stock controller had.
Yeah. Throws me back to my Super Smash Bros. Melee days. Mario Sunshine. Man, the GameCube was a great console, by the way.
It was. I've still got one somewhere, actually. I've still got one tucked away in a cupboard, I think.
Wow. You're the real MVP.
I'm just old.
Mad Advice Guy subs with a tier 1 sub. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. So yeah, not a whole lot else going on here. Still a fairly early interest check, but you know, if this colorway is your thing, then make sure you show some interest so we can actually, you know, get made. Maybe give them some feedback if you want to see the colorway is reversed or, you know, something changed.
Yeah, and Equitri has just said it'd look like a reversed GMK DMG if you flip the colours back. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think that might look all right.
I can see that. Yeah. Wait, Jay, you're not colorblind like I am, right?
No, I'm not colorblind.
Oh, okay. Because that would be like the doom of this show if both of us were colorblind. Oh,
no, I'm good. I'm good.
Top Clack would get absolutely slaughtered if both of us were. So fantastic.
That should have been on your on the phone when you asked if I wanted to join. You should have asked me question number 1: are you colorblind?
Let me open with this. Fantastic. All right, next up, guys, we have an interest check for GMK Turquoise and a GMK Space Sound. Very interesting names there. I don't even know what to say about these, man. I actually really like this guy's renders, though.
The renders are cool, and he's done a couple more recently as Vulcan on Instagram that I've seen that he hasn't featured on Keycap yet as part of an IC. I think the turquoise is interesting. It reminds me actually of the Hyperfuse Origins set, although it has the green Alpha Legends on this set. But the colour does remind me of Hyperfuse Origins. I don't know why, but it does. I think it's slightly different. I've got to be honest, the turquoise one isn't doing it for me. It looks like I think a more muted colour and do like a muted Triumph Adler type colourway might look a bit better. But yeah, it's not doing it for me. And the use of Pantone colours worries me as well, knowing how difficult GMK have it to match Pantones without proper RAL colour conversion and things like that. So that does worry me slightly.
That's a really good thing to note too. A lot of people might not be aware of that. So definitely good to think about. What about the space sound? I always get really worried when people effectively try 2 interest checks in the same post. Because, as far as I'm aware, these sets have nothing to do with each other. 2 completely different sets. So, it scares me when someone wants to kind of split their attention like this and, you know, maybe try to do a little bit too much at one time.
Yeah, because you wouldn't run them together. I mean, I think these 2 are so different that probably are approaching different audiences. There's going to be very few people who actually like both colorways and would want to buy if you did group buy them both at the same time. But just given how saturated the market is with GMK group buys at the minute, I think you're right. I think doing these staggered released interest checks would be better.
Yeah. With that said, I actually prefer the Space Sound colorway a lot more than the Turquoise one.
Oh yeah, I like this. I'd buy this. I think it's I think it's a more, how do I say this without trying to sound rude? I think it's a more accurate Solarized Dark than Solarized Dark was. Is the way I see it, especially on the modifiers. It looks to me, it looks like what Solarized Dark actually looks like in real life with the coloured modifiers. So I really like this. I would probably pick this one up.
Yeah. What's actually kind of interesting is he, in one of his pictures here, he has not only the render of Space Sound, but he has it comparing renders of other key sets, including Calm Depths, Nautilus, Laser, and Solarized Dark. Now, this is actually something I didn't know that I wanted to see before, but I like that idea of like being like, here's my key set, here's what it might look like compared to other key sets that other people might say it copies. Yes. I think that is actually really, really smart.
Yeah, because it shows just how different it is. I mean, when he first posted this on Instagram, I actually commented on there and I said it reminds me of Solarized Dark, or a more accurate version of what Solarized Dark is on a PC system. He came back and he was quite right when he said, do you know what? It's actually quite different when you look at it. And I said that with a Solarized Dark set right in front of me because I was typing on it at the time. So he corrected me on that, but I think you're right. I think showing off how different it is to other sets that it would complement as well. It also gives the opportunity to mix and match elements of this with other sets as well, especially those coloured mods. They'd look quite nice with the laser set, for example. I think that would work quite well. I think you're right. I think it gives a good opportunity for people to actually assess what it might look like in real circumstances, especially given how difficult it is to control colours.
Yeah. So shout out to the interest check person here, Vulcan. I think that's really smart. I'd like to see that become a bit more normal of a practice. Even though they are obviously just renders, like all of them are just renders, but hey, it's a little bit better than nothing at the very least. That's just good. That's just good. I never really thought about doing that before, so I'm glad someone did.
Yeah, I really like it. I think, and I think it's the strongest of the two sets as well. I think if it went for group buy, this would be the stronger of the two sets.
Yep, absolutely. All right, moving on. We have something I am slightly excited about, but slightly not excited about at the same time, and I'll tell you why. This is the interest check for Cat Specimen, and here is why I am really excited for this set. I love Cat Profile. It is easily my second favorite profile behind Cherry, and it's not that far away from Cherry in terms of how much I enjoy it. And I really love Cherry Profile, darn it. So if that gives you any idea, guys, on how much I like Cat Profile, this is cool. What I'm not really a fan of here is just the way the colors are arranged. I was never a fan of having like striped key sets like this, like 1976. Mm-hmm. And all the ones that just have like stripes going through them colors, really, really not my thing. But obviously, I might be in the minority here. What do you think, Jay?
I've got to be honest. I really like this. I think it uses some really good colours. It takes inspiration from a lot of sets. I think the purple and pink on the left is absolutely reminiscent of things like Laser. Stuff on the right is reminiscent of things like Jukebox and other sets. I love the whole way that it looks like 1976, or GMK 1983 was the other one that was teased a while back, I think, which had that whole kind of staggered colorway expression. One thing that I would change about this, I think it changes the colors too quickly. I'd probably have 2 rows of each color, so 2 rows of the red and 2 rows of the orange before I got into the cyan colorway. I think I'd probably break it down a little bit more like that and stagger it over the board. But I can see why they've done it this way, because it fits nicely with the space bar. So swings and roundabouts on that one. How do
you feel about this alien novelty?
I don't like that. Yeah, I'm not sure how that fits into the theme. I don't really know. I mean, I know he's got it on the logo, but
yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think that novelty looks really bad. That's just maybe just my opinion. But I don't, I don't know. Not for me though.
One thing that does concern me is the color kit. The purple keys on the color kit don't have the correct colored legends. They've got black legends rather than the pink ones. So I hope that's just an oversight and that'll be fixed. And he's got the same in the ISO kit as well, because obviously you guys know me, I'm going to be looking at the ISO kit all the time. He's got the wrong color legends on the ISO keys as well, the 2 and 3 for example.
Interesting. Yes, hopefully someone either brought that up to him in the interest check thread already, or someone will, so we can get that taken care of. So yeah, if
no one does it before me, I'll be posting on the interest check later on to point that out.
Yeah. So would you buy this set then? This is like a must buy for you?
Do you know what? I think I will. Yeah, I've not had the opportunity to try Cat Profile yet. I don't think there's any sets in the UK. I've got one key randomly. I don't know why, but I've got one Cat key. But I definitely want to try the Profile, especially considering that you like it so much, Brian. So I definitely want to try this out. And it has full ISO support, and it's UK ISO support as well. So if this goes to group buy, I'll definitely be picking this up.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I need to use my Cat Profile set more. It's like everything I love about SA without all the stuff that I hate about SA.
See, I say a similar thing about MT3, so I'd be interested to try Cat versus MT3, to be honest with you. That's probably an interesting comparison to me.
They're very, very different. Very different. But anyways,
159 saying ISO support equals insta J-buy. Yeah, pretty much. I struggle so hard with it. If it comes up,
Jay's
buy.
Yeah. Jay's like, oh, they care about me. I have to buy it now. This is for me. All right, guys. Well, he does have a pretty nice interest check laid out here. Lots of information, lots of pictures. He's got a pretty good kit breakdown, despite the color inconsistencies that Jay was pointing out there. So hopefully we'll see this go somewhere.
Yeah, one thing I would like to see, and I think there's a comment right at the bottom that mentions this, is 40% support would be nice, but I don't know if there are the Cat Profile keys to be able to support that. I don't know if they have the molds to support that or not.
Yeah. This is still very early profile. They've only had, I think there's only been one official run of Cat, and I don't even know if it's shipped yet.
Hasn't yet, no, yeah.
Which was Cat Alpha, which was just the one I have, which is just a black on white set, so very simple. Yeah, would love to see more Cat Profile sets. Would buy lots of them, and they're inexpensive too. Like at least the Cat Alpha set was under $100 if I recall. And the compatibility wasn't amazing, but it was pretty good.
Are they die sub or are they double shot?
They're die sub PVT.
Okay, so interesting that might change how this set looks then, because I'm not sure they'll be able to do the purple with the pink die sub unless they offer a reverse die sub process, which might be quite difficult to do.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not actually sure, but interest check. Obviously, just trying to gauge some interest and figure things out from there.
Yeah, I really like this, so I'm going to reach out to how do you say it? Oh, Cucumber. I'm going to reach out to Cucumber and ask him some questions on that, I think, because I really like this set and I want to see it succeed. So yeah, I'd like to try it.
That's a fantastic username, by the way.
Cucumber. Yeah,
I didn't even notice.
For a second. I was looking at it, I was like, QMBR, and that doesn't sound right, and then I realised it's Cucumber. Yeah.
Fantastic. Love that. All right. Tell us a little about keyboardplates.com, our next topic. I haven't seen this yet, actually.
Sure. Okay, so these guys are partnered with LaserBoost, and LaserBoost did contact me and give me a little bit of information about this. Not much more than what's on the site, and it was only just before the show as well. So what keyboardplates.com want to do is they want to offer group buy for common plates such as the Tada and standard ANSI 60%, and they want to do them based on either group buys or themes or different bits and pieces. So I think this is really reaching out to a lot of the designers and developers of boards, your Quantrix, your Zondats of the world, to try and get them to pick up and use them for actual group buy runs. But the first thing they want to do is do their own group buy for space branded themed plates. So these will have things like NASA logos and shuttle images and all of that kind of stuff on them, for a variety of just stock boards. I think the Sadar 68, a standard 60% ANSI and ISO ones are offered as well. So it's really, really interesting. It's a new business model. I don't think anyone's really tried this within the community before. No one's really tried to solely provide keyboard plates. There have always been manufacturers that have done other things. So I'll be interested to see how this turns out.
Yeah, a big part of this is obviously people willing to open source their own designs and stuff.
For sure, yeah.
Which a lot of designers are really, really, really good about that in our community, thankfully. So that helps a lot. But yeah, I think that'd be absolutely amazing. I mean, could you imagine a world where like you want another plate for your custom that was limited to like 75 units that's just sitting in your closet? You're like, oh, I want another plate, sure. But I didn't order an extra one in the group buy. Let me just go to this site and place this order real quick for this plate. Like,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's like a dream come true, honestly. I think it's going to be a really big hurdle to jump over, but I think if they do this right, this is going to be a real winner.
Absolutely, yeah. I think if they can get the prices right, and if they can target, as I said, the group buy runners and things like that in the right niche, I think this will absolutely fly. I think it's a great opportunity. But as you say, it is dependent on group buy runners being up with the plate files. One of the things I've struggled with in the past is trying to get fixed layout plates for ISO. Most group buy runners tend to use universal plates, and I think they'll either do universal plates or universal and fixed ANSI. So I always try and get hold of a plate file, and sometimes that is a challenge. So the more open people can be with plate files, the better, I think. Gives people the opportunity to have the keyboards they want as well. Just to call out as well, Dixie Mech was mentioning, is this licensed or is it unlicensed? So what I know at the moment is that keyboardplates.com have asked NASA for a license to be able to use all of the logos and everything else. They're waiting to hear back, but they're assuming that they can use it under the free licensing act that NASA have got. I think it's free to use a lot of their logos and other bits and pieces, as long as you don't modify them in any way, shape or form. And that's what they're trying to use. But they have asked for clarification directly from NASA, so they're waiting to hear that back today.
Okay, yeah. A quick note on that as well is obviously Mike of Novel Keys ran a NASA desk mat group buy not too long ago, which already shipped. So he didn't seem to run into any complications so far. So probably looking good for this as well. One thing I'm noticing right now is the price. Looks like it's about €50 for either of the plates, even like this standard 60 that they call the shuttle ANSI 60%. So it looks like it's about €50, which is, I mean, I haven't checked the conversion lately, but that's I think that's like somewhere around $55 to $60 US, which seems a little on the high side. Let me just check my conversion real quick so I'm not sounding really stupid.
I think it's a little bit more, actually. I think it's probably closer to 60.
Okay, so it's $57 US.
Yeah.
Which is, for a steel 60% fixed plate, I will say that's quite expensive. We're used to spending about half that on a steel plate, sometimes even less. So I think the pricing is going to be really crucial here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, because I think, and Zonda's just pinged it into the chat, I think these are the prices for just one plate. I'm not sure if they're the final prices. I think I've got a couple of questions I want to go back and ask keyboardplates.com and just see what's happening with the prices, if it will be different for group buys or if these are just the one-off prices as well. So I think we need to give them the benefit of the doubt for now. Ask the question, and I'll give an update when I know more.
Yeah, absolutely. Still a very early thing, so hopefully we can get some updates on that soon and see if we can get some kind of if those prices are actually retail, what they're actually going to stay at, then maybe we can see what kind of price tiers we can get for MOQs. Also, absolutely. Fun fact, they are located in Barcelona, Spain, according to their their about section. So just a fun fact.
Yeah, which is, funnily enough, that's where Laser Boost is based as well. So read into that what you will.
Oh, very interesting. The plot thickens.
Yeah. I think officially they're a sister company to Laser Boost, rather than they want to serve the keyboard community a little bit better than they have been as Laser Boost. So I think that slowly what they'll do is they'll move all of their stuff over to keyboardplayers.com, just to make it a little bit easier and separate out the brand in that way.
Yeah, makes total sense to me. Talisman Solutions donates 1,111 bits. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. All right. Now, next up, we have a group buy for some very interesting switches. I'm not going to pretend I know how to pronounce this name, so I'm going to let Jay butcher the pronunciation instead.
It's Hua-Jie. Also, I've been told, but Hua-Jie AKCN2 Alps clone switches.
I would have said that 100% wrong, so thank you for schooling me on that. I
had to ask as well. I'll be honest.
Yeah, my non-English languages is pretty bad. Even my English is awful, so it's kind of irrelevant. So what are these switches all about, man?
So these are Alps clones. They're a Type T1 clone apparently, and they use 60-gram clicky switches. Apparently these are similar to Yang Ming's ducky switches, but I've never tried those, so I'm not sure. Where they differ to actual Alps is that the click bar in these is actually made of copper. It's not made of the standard aluminium that you see. The standard steel that you see in a normal Alps switch as well. So they're a little bit different. I've never tried these switches, but there is a video that Cryosan Tom's done. So if anyone wants to check that out, that is on the IC page as well. I think that's right up at the top. So he does give a bit of a view about the 12-minute mark in that video of the switches themselves. So if anyone wants to check that out, you can do. He's not particularly congratulatory of them. I think he prefers traditional Alps, but these are relatively cheap switches, considering that they're brand new and easy to get hold of as well. So a kit of 50 switches is $27. A kit of 100 switches is $47. So the MOQ, they come down with the price. If you just want one, it's 50 cents. And then depending on where you are in the world, it's either $10 shipping or $40 shipping if you're outside the USA. So shipping's quite expensive if you're not in the US, but for those of you in the US, it's quite an easy way to get hold of these switches if you want to try them out.
Yeah. Well, if Kira-san says they're not that good, I don't know. He's kind of like one of those guys that you just have to trust, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's got so much experience with these older switch types.
Yeah, I'd be worried about buying something that he doesn't like.
Yeah.
But with that said, it's always cool to try some new things as well. Maybe we should get some of these. They're they're not cheap, but they're not outrageously expensive either. So maybe we should check some of these out.
Yeah. It'd be good to have a top Clack Alps clone build. Yeah.
Yeah, they fit the normal Alps footprint, I imagine.
They are the standard Alps from the outside in terms of the dimensions, from what I understand, yes.
Cool. Very cool. Alright, so there is that. The group buy opened up yesterday and it ends in 2 weeks on the 16th if you want to get in. To order, you have to PM him. There's not even a Google form.
Yeah, I did find that a bit weird that he's doing it all through PMs. Either he expects the interest to be quite low, or he's a bit of a sadist and he loves managing GCAC PMs, which aren't the best. So, it's interesting that he's choosing to do it that way.
Yeah, that's a very interesting approach. But I mean, for better or worse, this thread has 0 comments aside from the mod approval. So. Maybe people just aren't too into this.
It's only just gone up. It's a niche product anyway. Alps isn't the biggest switch type in the community. I think let's give it a day and benefit of the doubt and see how it goes.
Yeah, for sure. Olivia, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub. 15 months in a row. Heck yeah.
Wow, 15 months.
Yeah, I think.
Wow.
Either 15...
That must be the longest running one, right?
I always think that, and then someone else resubs for 1 month longer, and I'm like, whoa, really? I think 16 months is the longest you can go right now for Top Clack. I think. Pretty sure on the last stream, the one before that, someone subbed for 16 months in a row, and I was like, what? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Either way, Olivia, thank you for the staying power, because that's really, really cool. 15 months is a huge amount of time.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you know, and Captain Schwa has just proven your point with 16 months, 16A.
Hey,
absolutely.
Thank you, Captain
There you
Schwa.
go, man.
He is truly OG Top Clack. He has been here since the beginning, way before we had our Twitch affiliate even. So appreciate that, my friend.
Thank you very much, Captain.
All right, so yeah, make sure to show interest in this this group buy if this is your thing. Now, Top Clack would not be Top Clack without the people helping Top Clack. And of course, there are all of you. All of you guys help us out a ridiculous amount, and we appreciate that. But we also have some sponsors, as usual. So why don't you start us off, Jay? Who do we got?
Yeah, so to start off with, we've got Kerno Store. If you want to drag up that link.
Yeah, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
You're great on links. Yeah. I'm all over the window capture.
Excellent. And this week I just wanted to call out that they've got the Infinity Ergo docks on site as well, which was probably one of the earliest split boards that I got when I started in the hobby. So the Ergo docks is up there as well. They've also got another week left on GMK Calm Depths. If you guys are interested in Calm Depths, you can get it for another week. Just on that point, I've also asked the EU vendors if they're going to extend the timeline in the EU as well, because it's closed on the mykeyboard.eu site. But given that Kerno's still running, I imagine that will reopen for a couple of days. And they've still got the pre-order up for the Gemini Dawn and Dusk keyboards as well, which look absolutely fantastic for the price. I've got to be honest; these TKLs look really, really nice. Fully featured, fully programmable, open source software, fully controllable backlighting, RGB, all of that kind of good stuff as well.
Heck yes. So next up, holy crap, browser, why are you doing this to me? Sorry, guys. Windows just likes to freak out on me sometimes, and it just scares me. All right, next up we have the Beast in the East, Z Frontier, who are running a couple epic group buys right now, including the Mars 6.5, which we talked about recently, and I'm going to hopefully find that. Z Frontier's site can be a little difficult to navigate sometimes. They don't put their new stuff, like, anywhere. You just have to, like, you just kind of have to, like, scroll and find it. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's not even up anymore. What the heck? Oh,
it was up there earlier on when I checked.
That must have been like a really quick group.
Oh, it's there in the middle. Is that not in the middle?
It's sold out though. Holy crap! That's extra components. Hold on. Oh yeah,
maybe it has gone.
Wow, things have gone terribly wrong for me. Oh well. Oh wow. So I apologize on that, guys. But you can still get in on some other things that they got going on, including the Aurora 96, which is kind of this. This 96 key. Where the heck are you? Oh my god. I hate navigating the site sometimes. I'm gonna type it in and hopefully spell it wrong. There we go. So it makes it even easier. Apparently I don't know how to spell Aurora. Wow, the biggest fail in the world.
It happens.
Anyways, they have tons and tons of key sets in stock as well. Just like always, if you want to buy a key set, this is usually one of the go-to places because they keep a lot of them in stock of various profiles and colorways, which is pretty good stuff.
Interestingly as well, I think they've still got the Time TKL in stock as well. I think they've got another handful of those back in stock as well, which is it's quite interesting. One of the more in-depth designs of last year, I'd say.
The Time TKL?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that. It's certainly a very unique board. Of course, they're still proxying for a lot of group buys as well, including Calm Depths and GMK Shoko, which I think have either of those met MOQ yet? I know Shoko got extended until the 15th, but it was really in danger of not hitting MOQ. So I really hope that makes it because I really do like GMK Shoko.
Yeah, and Calm Depths has definitely hit MOQ. I saw from the EU vendors it hit MOQ about a week ago, so that's way over the limit already.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see that go through because it really does deserve to go through, and it's also like really cheap. Calm Depths and Shoko are both like two of the cheapest GMK sets we've had in a long time.
Yeah, and they've both got huge base kits as well. Absolutely fantastic base kits.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, that is Z Frontier. Who else we got?
Next up is Novel Keys. If the link will paste for me, there we go. So Novel Keys have got a number of items up on here. So one of the ones I want to call out is the Galactic Empire DSA Keycap set. This has actually been extended because they've managed to now be able to deliver it to a lot more extended regions. So previously it was only available in US and some outlying regions. They've now been able to extend that to get that across quite a few other areas as well. I know that now includes EU and the UK, which is great news for me. And I think there's some other areas as well that include. I can't quite see where it is on the site, but I know Mike was telling me there's definitely.
Yeah, he actually took it off. It used to be listed which countries it shipped to, and now he changed that to say that it's shown when checking out.
Okay. But I know there's a lot more compatible countries now that you can ship to, which is really great news for this set. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. As well as that, he's also got a number of different desk mats, which are all over the front page, from Nautilus desk pads, Nautilus Round 2, Milkshake, and quite a few other bits and pieces as well as the usual Switch selections. So Milky Gator ones, which are quite exciting for me. I'm going to be ordering some of those soon. And interesting as well, he's also got the new QMK Proton C controller. If you guys want to do any hand wire builds or anything like that, which is a USB-C controller to replace some of the other ones have been used in the community quite recently, such as a Teensy, etc. So that's really good as well.
Yep. And make sure while you're there, you use promo code TOPCLACK to get 5% off your total order. But tomorrow, that's actually going to be changing. The promo code will still get you 5% off, but the promo code will be changed to New Clack. New Clack, not Top Clack. So basically, if you guys weren't aware, which most of you probably weren't, Top Clack has been the promo code on Novel Keys for a while, and the idea from the start was always to keep that promo code in the Top Clack community, but because it's been the same for so long, it's vastly leaked out past the Top Clack community. And, Mike kind of wants to rein that in just a little bit, which is totally understandable, and just, make it as a little extra kind of promo just for you guys that actually watch and support the show. So make sure that you're aware of that. It should be starting tomorrow, if I read his email correctly, to New Clack, 2 words. N-E-W Clack. 2 words. And
we'll put up an announcement on the Discord server as well when that goes live, and confirming whether it's 1 word or 2, because I can't remember, and someone's asking in chat if it's 1 word or 2.
I think they're trolling you. I'm almost certain it's 2 words. But yeah, we'll definitely update you on that, guys. And just make sure you guys are keeping the promo code there in the Top Clack community, because we want it to be benefiting you guys, not necessarily everyone else in the entire world. So just keep that in mind. Last but not least, we have Zeal Generation at zealpc.net/topclack if you want to use our affiliate link. And he's got lots of new goodies going on, of course. He has all the new Switches that just released, all the V2 lineup stuff, which is, what I like to call it, makes it a little bit more all-encompassing. He's got, brand new Telios, brand new Zelios, brand new Xylence, Helios, which is a new addition. That's the new silent linear. Really been loving those lately. And, of course, he has other things as well. The Zeno 75% group buy is still going on, guys. So if you want to get on that, you have until about middle of February. You can get that in either half plate, full plate, in your choice of color and switch, which is pretty darn awesome. Love this board. Been waiting for this for a long time. And I know the quality is going to be top-notch, because I imagine it's the same place that did the Zephyr, and the Zephyr's really top-notch.
Yeah, Pern has confirmed that it is the same place, so yeah.
Cool. Fantastic.
That.
Yep, so if you guys do want to support Top Clack, and you also want to buy any of Zeal's products or join any of his group buys, make sure you use zealpc.net/topclack, and that'll give us a bit of a kickback. That's the affiliate link. Won't cost you anything more, of course, but it'll help us out a lot. So make sure you check that out, use that, and if you don't want to, then don't. It's fine. No harm, no foul. Totally up to you. I think Jay is slacking. I don't think he posted it.
Oh yeah,
gotcha. Don't worry, I got that one.
Last one. There you go. I have to let you do something today, man. You
I know. That's a win for me. There we go. Thanks, guys. All right, so of course, sponsor spot dictates that our news segment has wrapped up. So let me go ahead and change the overlay back. And we do not have a guest today. I didn't want a guest for Jay's first show because you gotta experience Jay in all of his glory, and all of his beautiful masculinity and positivity. So now is going to be the time where we move into our Q&A segment. So if you guys have questions, we got answers. I'm sure you guys have questions for your new Top Clack co-host. So let them roll. Out, guys. Yep, make sure you use the @TopClack tag. Helps us see them a lot better. A lot better.
Absolutely. I think Geo started it off with JO1 group by when. Shh, it's not happening. No, it may happen. I don't know. Prototype is on its way. That's all I'm going to say on that one.
All right, so that's not confirmed to happen. I thought you were, or you just wanted one for yourself, right?
Yeah. I just wanted to do one for myself, and I showed a few people, and it seems to have gained some interest from there. So we'll see. But I have no intention to run it as a group buy at the moment.
All right. Fabry Rock 91 asking our favorite GMK key set.
I can't pick one, but I can tell you my two favorite ones: Solarized Dark for a darker key set, and Muted for a lighter key set. Absolutely, GMK profile all the way. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna agree with the Muted. I've had it for a while now, using it right now. Even I think it's my favorite overall GMK set, just because it works on literally any board you put it on. And that's a really attractive quality for me. I like being able to just have a set that can go anywhere and be very nice. So Muted, definitely. Aside from that, I don't know. I like a lot of them, but I'm not really in love with many of them. So Muted definitely at the top for me.
Cool. If I had to give a shout out to another set, I think from 2018 it'd be GMK Olivia as well, because that is absolutely stunning. That also features on a lot of my boards. Yeah, I love that set too.
All right.
Okay.
LBI Bass asking, how did you get into the community, Jay?
So originally I bought myself a poker. I just wanted a mechanical keyboard for gaming, and that led to the subreddit, mechanical keyboard subreddit, when I wanted to change the keycaps for it, and then just from there it was down the rabbit hole until you see what you see behind me. That was just a massive rabbit hole to fall into. But that was about 2 years ago, and yeah, that was my start into the community.
All right, fair enough. Krellbit asking, I asked a question earlier, why does Brian, spelled my name wrong, snap like an alien pretending to be human? Please give me my answer soon. I keep staying awake at night thinking about how wrong he snaps. I've
got visions now of the alien from the original Men in Black film where he wears the human skin suit, and that's just you walking around, Brian.
Well, that's what, like, in real life, that is me. Like, that's what I look like. That's what I act like. I'm like sugar. I don't know. I've never really been a snapper. In fact, like, I've never really snapped my entire life. That's just never been a thing that I've done. And I didn't really start doing it at all until doing typing tests. And even then, I don't like doing it, but I know a lot of people like it, so I try to do that. But I'm a terrible snapper. I don't really care.
Interestingly, I can't click my fingers, so I have to clap when I do typing test videos to just give that sound.
Yeah.
That sound reference right at the beginning. Yeah. I physically can't click my fingers. So.
I feel like snapping and clapping is like an awful way to judge audio frequency.
Oh, for sure.
It's really, really bad. Because I could snap 10 times and it could sound different all 10 times.
Absolutely,
same thing with clapping. It's actually very pointless, but a lot of people like it anyways. So,
yeah, so what we need is a community-decided mechanical instrument to create a tone at the beginning of any typing video. That's what we need.
We need something that everyone has that is universally consistent. And I'm not sure what that is, but hopefully we'll figure it out.
An MX Brown board from when they first joined the community.
but Krellbit, I am glad that you spend so much time thinking about something pertaining to me that you can't sleep at night. That actually makes me pretty happy. Bug Whisperer says, since 2019 is going to be Year of the Gasket, What switch type / plate combo makes the most of gasket mounting? Amazing question, by the way. What do you think, Jay?
So my experience of gasket mount is limited to the GSKT. That's literally the limit of all my experience on gasket mounts. From my experience on that, I would say that I prefer a half plate to a full plate. That gives a much softer feel. In terms of materials, I've only tried aluminium, but I can imagine that polycarb feels probably a little bit different, a little bit nicer. I think polycarbon gasket and a half plate would be where I'd want to go for ultimate flex.
Okay, so you actually, I kind of want you to reiterate this a little bit, because you were telling me before the stream that you actually didn't like a little bit of flex when you tried the gasket the first time, because you're more of a stiffer experience kind of guy. But for whatever reason, you liked the ridiculous half plate flex.
Yeah, this is true. So my type of board tends to be 5mm like the Zephyr, or an integrated plate, something really hard and really firm to type on. And when I tried the gasket, I tried two layouts on it. I tried a aluminium full plate, and then I tried the aluminium half plate. When I tried the full plate, I didn't like the bounce. I didn't like the feel. It didn't feel natural to type on. It just felt mushy to me. Chris Swires, whose board I was trying, he really liked that. But then when you put the second build in, which was the half plate, it went way beyond that initial softness and had even more flex. And I just felt that the keycaps were hugging my fingers, because the flex was bouncing back up to my fingers as I was reducing pressure on the switches. And that just felt really nice. It felt like typing on MT3, but cushioned MT3. It was quite weird, where the keycaps just seemed to hug your fingers. So for me, interestingly enough, I didn't like soft gasket mount boards until it got really, really soft past what I'd imagine the traditional gasket feels like. So yes, that's just a little anecdote from my experiences.
Yeah, in my experience, I haven't tried gasket on anything besides an aluminum plate. That's the only thing I've experienced gasket mount on. In terms of, I've used the 356 Mini, which was obviously kind of a different gasket style, and I've used the Meme. Both typing experience I absolutely loved, absolutely adored them. I thought they were fantastic. Both used aluminum plates, which I thought was fine. I've never tried anything, like I know I was telling Jay earlier, like a lot of people have the the gasket 00 board, and they use like a polycarbonate half plate, and it's gasket mount, and like they just like press a key down in the middle and it just bows the entire thing like all the way down to the bottom. And I'm just like, that is nuts. Like I have no idea what that would actually feel like. But I'm really interested to try that out, because I tend to be a person that likes more flex. Yeah.
I think there's probably two ways of looking at gasket as well, because the way I see it is there's two different design ethoses with gasket. You can either do it for flex, such as what we've just been talking about on the GSKT, or you can do it for sound improvement, where you see these boards that have been isolated with gaskets all around the edge of the edge of the plate and on top of the plate, and then the plate's pinned in place as well. So I think it depends on what people want from a gasket. I think you can use a gasket for multiple different outcomes. It's not just about flex and feel. There's also the sound element as well, where you isolate the plate. Interestingly enough, although I prefer a firmer board, the J01 that I've been working on, that actually has gaskets to isolate the plate from the sound, not from a feel perspective, because it's only a thin gasket, 1.5mm, but it just completely isolates the metal of the plate from touching the metal of the case, to try and isolate that sound profile, and make it more about the switch than about the plate, the case build.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that too. I like the feel of gasket mount, but I feel like the sound is impacted way more than the feel. At least when you're using, in my experience, a full aluminum plate. Obviously, I can't really speak for anything else, but like the sound from a gasket mount is so clean. It's so much more precise. Mm-hmm. It's really, really a treat, and I honestly can't get enough of it. He also said what switch type / plate. We've only been commenting on plate, so sorry about that. As far as switch type, I guess linear is kind of the cop-out answer, I guess. I haven't tried tactiles. Yeah. I haven't tried any tactiles or clickies on a gasket mount board, so I can't say for sure. I don't want to assume.
Yeah, I I think one of the things that Topical has got coming in, we've got a unicorn that's coming in the next couple of months whenever they ship. So I think trying out different types of switch plates and switches themselves, so materials and all that kind of good stuff. We'll try and do a whole episode on that at some point, or I'll try and do a build stream with that, so we can try that out and come up with some better answers.
Yeah, that'll be cool. All right. Thoughtbot asking a really interesting question, actually. Where's the ideal place to put Sorbothane? So, obviously, the easy answer is you put it underneath the PCB, between your case. That's the really common place to put it. And that's where most people put it. And I think that often works totally fine. Sorbothane is very, very heavy, very dense. It does a really good job of absorbing sound. It's kind of expensive per volume, but, you know, you get what you pay for, potentially. One thing that I've actually been thinking about since I saw this question in chat, I've actually heard other people talk about this as well, which I think is totally crazy, but I'd love to see it done, is what people would do is they take a sheet of Sorbothane, and you would cut out places for, like, your switches and stuff like that, your stabs and stuff, and then you actually place it between the PCB and the plate. So it's like you fill up all the empty space between your PCB and plate, which I think potentially could be really, really cool, but would probably require a ridiculous amount of work and a very steady hand.
We need to get Beep Haha with his laser cutter to do some Sorbothane.
I was thinking that, like, I wonder, like, you could laser Sorbothane, right? Like, that makes sense.
Yeah. He's doing some for me for my gaskets, so to try out different materials. So yeah, it's doable. It's achievable.
That could be really, really interesting. Obviously, you'd have to get the right thickness and everything, but you know, I think that could be really interesting. On a slightly smaller scale, I think it would also be really cool if you could do something similar, but instead of just having a cutout for each one of your switches and stabs and whatever, is you just have a ring of Sorbothane around the outside, basically, encompassing your PCB and between your plate. Obviously, you'd have to affect it or change it to where it wouldn't affect mounting, but you know, you have it underneath your plate, but still like kind of around your PCB. I think that could be interesting as well.
That'd work quite easily on top mount boards. That'd be interesting to see. Yeah. I'd like to try that.
Yeah, absolutely. John at Zap just subs with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. And Geo gifts a tier 1 sub to Krellbit. Very nice. Thank you.
Who immediately tells him to go away.
Oh man, that's fantastic. I love it. Work. Don't worry, Krellbit. I still secretly like you. Even though you're kind of mean sometimes. All right, ISO returns, which is a very apt username for this episode, featuring Jay.
Here's the EU crowd coming in. Yeah, I see you guys.
Oh, he actually catches a surprising amount of streams for being in the EU. Anyways, he asks, how is the late night in the UK holding up? Will Top Clack start earlier for Jay's Shake and the rest of the EU? As it stands right now, there is going to be no schedule changes for Top Clack. We will continue with the time block that we've been using for pretty much all of Top Clack's life. So until something major happens, that's probably not going to change. I have been toying with the idea of setting up a poll just to like maybe choose a few other times to see like what people might prefer. But I don't know. The problem with choosing a time is, like, it doesn't really matter, because no matter what time we pick, it's going to really, really, really hinder a lot of people, and it's going to be really, really good for some people. You know, we've averaged like over 100 viewers this episode, but like that's like a fraction of the people that watch Top Clack. Like, this VOD will probably get anywhere from like 600 to 1,000 views. So like most people watch the VOD anyways. So it's kind of hard to really judge, honestly. I feel like it doesn't really matter, because people are always going to be okay with certain times, and then they're going to be really upset.
Yeah, I think I agree, and I think you're never going to please everyone with something like this. And
Exactly.
as long as we're both comfortable with this, people can catch the boards. The time's fine for me, so it doesn't really affect me, guys, this time, purely because I only work every other Friday, and when I do work on a Friday, I work from home anyway, so it doesn't matter if I'm up a little bit later, and it just means I go to bed a little bit later, and I get a chance for a nap in an afternoon as well, which is quite nice. So no problems from my perspective.
Heck yeah. Great question, though. Pluto19 asking, when's Cat Quakeums hitting IC? I'm not really sure what kind of set does a colorblind man design? I think that's the real question. Yeah, there's a reason, guys, that I vastly prefer sets like Muted, 9009, white on black, black on white, monochrome, stuff like that just has no real color. That's my realm. Absolutely love that. So I don't know. If I were to run a key set, I would highly consider doing Cat Profile, though.
That needs to be our challenge for 2019. Find a color scheme that you want to run in Cat Profile.
The Real Travis 68 asking, you guys get any new keybs recently?
Oh, go back and watch the VOD of this from the start, because I had a bit of a bumper Christmas from a keyboard perspective.
Jay decided to bring out a fleet, an armada, a multitude, a pantheon of keyboards he recently got. I haven't gotten anything in a little while, so I'm not always as cool, but sometimes I am.
when I've had a bit of a play with it, I am going to send you the T60, Brian, so you can have a look at that and play around with it.
Sweet. Yeah, no rush. What? Aluminium? That's gonna be interesting. People, because I say aluminum, obviously you say aluminium.
Aluminium.
I hope people aren't too confused over time when they see both of us saying it differently. Anyways, the hand thing asking, did you guys try tactiles on gasket or just linears? I just noticed that the switches actually felt different, even if no bottom out. This is actually something I briefly talked about earlier. I have not tried anything besides linears yet on a gasket mount board.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as well. I've only tried the gasket, the GSKT with linears. So when the J01 arrives and I've got the prototype for that, I'm going to do a couple of builds. But I will do a tactile build and a linear build. So we can have a look at it then on stream at some point. But at the minute, I haven't tried anything like that.
Yeah, that's good. You have to definitely let us all know how that is. My next gasket build will have to be tactile as well, because now I can't stop thinking about why I haven't tried it yet. I don't really want to rebuild my meme, because that thing was kind of annoying to build with all the problems that it had. I don't want to take that apart ever again. So yep. All right. Next up, we got Twitch Chat Genius asking, since sorbothane was mentioned, does it have any effect on thick aluminum boards? I think it pretty much always has an effect in a keyboard. It's just a matter of how much of an effect it has.
Yeah, and that effect is usually driven by how much space you've got between the bottom of the PCB and where the case starts. So how much of a gap you've got underneath the PCB, and how much sorbothane you can fit in there. That will really, really affect the output. So if you look at something like the CA66, which has got a huge cavern of a gap on the bottom of the inside of the case, you can add a ton, almost an inch thick piece of sorbothane at the top end, and whereas a lot of other boards you can't put 5mm in. If you look at something from Zondat, for example, you can't even put a 5mm piece of foam in the bottom. So it all depends on the board, and the bigger the gap you have underneath the PCB and the plate, the more impact sorbothane will have on the sound, in my experience.
Yeah, certainly. SE Fan says, water jet cutting is an option, I think referring back to when we were talking about sorbothane cutting. Says laser is questionable. I guess we'll find out.
Beep's doing me some, so he's the laser cutting master as far as I'm concerned. He knows what he's doing, so I'll trust his judgment on it.
That guy lives and breathes lasers, so we'll see.
Yeah.
He lasered my face on toast at one point. Some of you slightly more dated fans might remember that piece of toast. Anyways, moving on. Stocks asking, how was your nap, Jay?
It was perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Nice. Talisman Solutions asking, upcoming builds, can we expect twice as many build streams from both time zones? Great question. Upcoming builds, I have... What do I have coming? I think I have a couple things coming. I just don't know what they are. Jay will probably be doing more build streams than me in the coming days because he already has so many things on deck to actually do. But, of course, like you guys probably have already guessed, Jay will be officially doing, you know, all of his streaming under the Top Clack channel and name now. So, you know, here, this is where he'll be doing build streams. So, make sure to check those out.
Yeah, and those will keep in the traditional slot I've done build streams as well, which will be Sunday evenings for me or early Sunday afternoons for you guys in the US. I'll probably use the same slot because it just works for me to do builds then as well.
Yeah, I mean, people always ask me, like, why aren't, like, build streams scheduled? And I'm like, because I don't always have things to do on stream.
Yeah.
But, like, if you can nail down a day where, like, you build stream every single week, that is monumental. That's really, really, that brings us within spitting distance of Twitch partnership, actually.
Yeah, I did. So on my channel, I managed 18 out of 19 weeks to do a build every Sunday evening.
That's impressive.
And that still did get me through the backlog of boards to build. But yeah, there was only one Sunday I couldn't do it. So there will be there almost every week throughout the year. So there will be a build stream for me almost every week throughout the year. You know, I'd say there's going to be at least 40, I'd imagine, something like that.
Yep. All right. Very cool. Yeah, I do build streams when I can, but I don't always have things to build, unfortunately. I will be doing a polycarbonate Singa build in the very near future once I'm not in so much pain anymore. That'll be good times. Then I have the Southpaw full size coming. I don't know when that's shipping, so And then I also have I'll be doing a TGR 910 build in the near future as well. That and a Singa are both for customers though.
Yeah, I've got my polycarb Singa just
shut up. Shut up. That's enough out of you.
You're gonna put me on mute now.
Yeah, it's muted the rest of the stream. Easy. Anyways, Whitseller's asking, when has Shoko been extended to? The 15th, if I saw correctly, of this month, so 12 more days. ISO returns subs for a second month in a row with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. Says, welcome Jay to Top Clack and happy news all. Nice.
Thank you, man. Thank you, dude. And we've got Starson as well with 9 months in a row with Twitch Prime subs. Thank you very much, dude. Really appreciate that, dude. It's very kind of you.
Alright guys, looks like we're caught up on questions, but we'll do one final call for questions before we head out. So if you guys have any last minute questions before we take off, make sure you get those in now, like as in now.
There is a question from Pluto. He's not tagged us, but he's saying, is the 24-hour stream going to be soon? It's something Brian and I have talked about. It is going to happen. Oh yeah, 159.
One way or another, it's happening.
It is going to happen. We just need to sort out the details of when and how and where. But yeah, it's going to happen. We'll get it sorted.
Yeah. Yep. It should be a good time. I think it would be really cool if we could if we could just do a dual stream for 24 hours straight. But then like
that would be pretty cool.
It would be cool, but it would be so hard. So I think what we might do is we might just tag team, do like 12 hours each. Like one of us will do 12 hours, then you tap in, then I'll tap in Jay, or Jay will tap in me, and I'll do the next 12 hours or whatever.
Yeah,
and that'll be cool.
I think that'd be cool. What would be good as well is if we could alternate between like doing builds and having interviews and all sorts of stuff like that. So there's a lot to think about and a lot of logistics to sort out as well.
Yeah,
but Brian and I'll sit down and talk it through.
Yeah, no, it'll be cool. I was trying to think. I was trying to actually, like, in my mind, come up with like a mental like time block, like schedule of like what we could do. Like maybe like during these hours, like we could be doing this, and these hours we could be doing this.
Sure,
or, like building and like bringing on like people, like bringing on like subs just to like talk to or whatever, or bringing on people to interview, or reviewing something, building something. Like there's so many possibilities that we could do in a 24-hour stream. It would be really, really cool.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Definitely down for doing it though.
Heck yeah, it's gonna happen, guys. I swear to you, it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be amazing. Geo asking, what are your headphones, Jay?
These are the new Sony WH-1000 XM3s. I got them for noise cancelling mainly, but yeah, they're really good. Worthwhile buy. I really enjoy them. Very good sound.
Nice. Huangvu95 asking, what is Jay doing for a living? So your job, career, if you want to answer that.
Yeah, so outside of keyboards, I work for a large financial institution in the UK as a senior program manager stroke product owner. So very much in the agile delivery space from projects and all that kind of good stuff. So that's what I do for financial sector in the UK. It's good stuff.
Heck yeah. All right, Stoddy Boy saying ISO only builds, Jay.
Not only, I wish. A couple of the boards that I've gotten recently are going to force me to build them as ANSI boards. So both the Zephyr and the Vern are both ANSI only at the moment. We might change that. We'll see what we do. But I do have ANSI boards as well as ISO. So all the ones you can see in the background, most of them are ISO. But there is, for example, the Alice, which is just here. That's an ANSI board, and I've got a couple of others as well. So where necessity dictates, I will use ANSI, but if I can build ISO, I will do. So it'll be a mix and match streams depending on what I'm doing.
For sure. A lot of people are saying lubing in our 24-hour stream.
Oh, God,
I hate lubing on stream. Like people always ask me to do it, and I absolutely hate it. I think it's like the most boring thing to watch. Like it's so bad. Like it's like it's kind of boring and tedious to do. It's like way more boring and tedious to watch someone do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe a little. But.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd lube even for a full build stream on stream. I might do 4 or 5 switches to show people how I lube and things like that, but I'd never do a whole.
I've had so many build streams lately where I lube at least a full board's worth of switches. I think I had one stream recently where I lubed 2 boards worth of switches, and it was like,
man,
it was like a 6 or 7 hour stream. It was so bad. Like it was great, but it was bad at the same time.
For sure, yeah, I get that. Completely get that.
Starset asking, is fixed ISO going to be a thing in 2019?
No, it's not. And so I've got actually, it does raise a different point to me. Does this one? One of the things that and I know people are going to ask me about ISO, and I'm surprised no one has yet. But I ISO is difficult to cater for in the world, and a lot of people in the community, the vast majority, tend to use ANSI as well. So there's a lot of, I won't call it hate, but there's a lot of negativity towards ISO. But what I would like to see is not fixed ISO plates in group buys. What I really think that group buy runners should do is they should design an ISO plate and let the files be, share the files out and let people go get their own plates. I would absolutely take a group buy a board that came with an ANSI plate but had a file that I could take and get cut with Laser Boost or someone else, and go and have my own plate made. That's absolutely what I prefer. I think support the vast majority of the population first. Do put the ANSI plates, include them, or do a universal one, whichever you prefer, and then just make sure I've got a plate file so I can go do my own thing. I think that absolutely makes more sense.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. It's also it's so hard to do fully fixed plates these days too, right? Because like so many people use so many different layouts. Like you almost have to be at least like somewhat universal, even if you're doing ANSI or ISO. Like you have like you just have to have some options because there's so many choices.
Yeah, things like split backspace, spacebar row, all of that kind of stuff affects it. So yeah, I think fixing plates is difficult. What would be really interesting and what would be really nice and refreshing to see is a group buy where you didn't get a plate and you just got a plate file and everyone could tweak and tailor that to their own their own style, their own solution, based on what the PCB supports, and then go get them cut separately. I think that'd be quite nice and refreshing to see.
I think that'd be cool. I think that'd be a little bit daunting for even someone like me. I've never, I don't do CAD work or whatever.
Sure.
So like I don't know how to design a plate. per se, but I think it would be really cool to like have either the group buy runner or maybe someone that even does it on commission in the community that'll just, you know, is really good at it, and they'll make plate files for lots of different layouts.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
You know, people like the group buy runner or whatever can just be like, here's this, pay them a little bit of money or something, just have them do that design, and then you know, they can be like, bam, and here, if you want a plate cut, here's laser boost, or, you know, someone else, and you know, here's the file, just tell them this is what you want, and then bam, that's what you're gonna get. So
yeah.
If it could be like really simple like that, I think it could be pretty effective.
Yeah, there's definitely options for people to explore there, and you know, I think the bigger this community gets, the more diverse we're getting in terms of what people preferences are, what people like, what they like to use, what they even want to try and use. You know, so I think the more things that we can offer them whilst keeping the group buys as simple as possible, you know, the better. So yeah, I'd absolutely like to see and challenge, you know, designers to do that. It doesn't make that much difference to include stuff on the PCB, so you know, no one sees a PCB when it's built, but plates, you know, absolutely make them more open, make it easier for people to get hold of plate files. I know Singer are really good at giving out plate files, so Elaine Catwee, she's good at sharing the plate files for her boards. Zondat's all right with sharing his as well. He's done me a couple of plate files for some of my ISO builds as well in the past. So you know, some of the designers out there are open to it. Let's just hope we can increase that and influence the others as well.
All right. Talisman Solutions says, will Brexit affect ISO?
I have no idea.
Nice.
Probably not.
I'm going to say, let's just say yes, because it's more interesting.
Because it's funny, yeah.
Upas just subs with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much for that. And with that, we are caught up on questions, and I think that is probably a good time for us to take our leave.
Absolutely.
So, thank you guys very much for tuning in today. I thought it was a pretty great episode. Of course, we have Jay on for his very first episode, but he will be a mainstay here starting today. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed him and myself together. I think we did a pretty bang-up job, if I do say so myself. So,
we need to get you in the Mary Poppins films or something like that with that accent.
Yeah, when I'm alone, I do accents all the time. Because I'm totally not lying here, by the way. I secretly want to do stand-up comedy. Like, I have jokes written and everything.
Right, okay, so what this is telling me, Brian, is next stream, you need to have a British accent all the way through the stream. That's what you need to do.
Oh, man, I don't know. I don't... Oh man, it'd be awful. It'd be really, really offensive, probably. So I might, but maybe we'll. That's what we should do. One day I'll try to take your accent, you take mine.
Oh gosh, right, okay.
And we'll just confuse everyone super hard. It'll be absolutely amazing.
Flip over the names on the images as well.
Oh, hold on. I guess we have one more last question before LBI Bass destroys my entire world. Apparently.
Oh yeah, the tagging. Yeah,
I'm trying to find it. He has so many different messages broken up.
Oh, okay. Not sharing factories sucks. What do we think? I guess what your question is, LBI Bus, is around designers not sharing their factory details. My view on this one is that prior to doing my own designs and getting some of my own stuff built with the Hyper 7 things, I didn't understand why people kept their factory secret. After doing and going through that whole process and trying to find good factory, a good company that can produce the quality that you want, I think it's very, very difficult. I can kind of see why people do want to keep them close to the chest and play it safe. And I think the main reason for that is because once you've got a good factory that can turn out a good product that you want to be able to share with the rest of the community, you don't want their quality to be hindered. You don't want them to be overworked. You don't want the timelines to slip. And the busier a factory gets before they can scale up, the more they're going to have difficulties producing at pace. So in my experience, I can kind of understand it. I think what would be nice is if the established designers helped newbies a little bit more. So whether they actually shared the factory details or not, but actually helped them get into that space, that'd be really useful. Even if they acted as a front runner for the group buy. LBRS, I know you've been speaking to Alf, for example. I think that's a really good example. You know, you're speaking to Alf. He's helping you out with the manufacturing. He's leading you into that world, and I think that's probably the better way of doing it. I don't know what you think, Brian.
No, that's. I think you summed it up perfectly. That makes total sense. I think there's obviously arguments on both sides of things, but you know, it's less for us to decide and more for, you know, the vendors and group buy runners of the world to decide. I guess we just sit on and see what happens a lot of the time. J Chef donates 100 bits. Thank you very much for that, my friend. And all right, people telling me never do that accent again. Yeah, I never said my accents were good. I just said I do them.
You like to do them, yeah, yeah.
24-hour stand-up comedy? No, I will never. I will, at least on Top Clack's channel, I will never stream stand-up comedy. A lot of my material is really inappropriate, as most stand-up comedy tends to be. All right. All right, well, that is all, guys. We're going to head out for the day. Well, for the night for Jay, I guess.
Yeah, it's pretty much straight to bed after this, yeah.
Yep. Make sure you guys check below the stream. You can find links to our official Discord if you want to join and hang out with us there and, you know, maybe play some video games with people or just talk and chill. It's kind of just a central hub for people to just, you know, have a good time and chat. And, of course, our YouTube channel is down there as well. Make sure to subscribe to that. And, yeah. We will be back next week, same time, same place, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And, you know, of course, I'll have Jay returning. It'll be fantastic. Maybe we'll have a guest, maybe we won't. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But,
looking forward to it.
We'll catch you guys later. Any parting words on your first episode, Jay?
No, I just want to thank you everyone for being so welcoming. You know, it's been really great to be here. You know, I've been looking forward to doing this for the past couple of weeks, and I'm psyched to carry on doing it. Yeah, it's going to be really good fun. I'm looking forward to growing the partnership and becoming a more integral part of Top Clack. I'm really looking forward to it.
I am looking forward to it as well. So, guys, make sure to you know, to stay tuned to the channel because we'll be seeing more of both Jay and myself. I believe Jay actually has a build stream coming up on Sunday, right? Sunday,
correct, yeah.
Sunday for you, so probably Saturday for, well, wait. I don't know what time you stream, actually.
Yeah, so it'll be about 8 o'clock in the UK on Sunday, so between 12 and 2 across the US, depending on where you are. Okay. So it'll be a reasonable time on Sunday, but we're going to be building the Vern prototype with Zelio V2. Yep. So yeah, so I was looking forward to doing that. It'll be the first board I've had the switches in, and it'll be the first time I've had the Vern built up as well. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. Yeah.
Cool. So make sure you guys show up here on Sunday to check out Jay's build stream of the Vern prototype. Gonna be good stuff. Until next time, stay classy.
See you guys.